Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. If you've been watching my movie reviews for a while, you might have picked up a hint here or there that I play video games. A lot. Her actions are being monitored by a team of scientists. Well, they all have lab coats on, so that's +5 to the science skill.
Prodigium abyssus. It's a portal to hell.
Wow, that's a very nice feature that any Terraria player should incorporate into their home. A Hellevator. We cut to Belmont Hospital. Wait a minute, does that count as a Castlevania reference? Despite this, I haven't really dived into the idea of reviewing video games. I tend to stick more to movies or short-lived TV series. The reason for this is because, generally, video games are a hell of a lot longer than your average movie. And with my desires to not only keep this show on a weekly schedule, but also to have enough time to fully experience the media which I am reviewing, that works against being able to produce a worthwhile video game review. Of course, that never stopped IGN. Though that does explain why yearly releases of the same damn game get near perfect scores from them, while anything with a remote learning curve is deemed broken. Never mind all that, I think I finally found a game that I can review on this show. Released this year, in fact only 15 days ago, a classic Sega franchise has been reborn with the typing of the dead, Overkill. A part of the game The House of the Dead Overkill, originally released for the Nintendo Wii in 2009, it was later ported to the PlayStation 3 with PlayStation Move support in 2011. This is a PC re-release of that version of the game, though with much different controls. Instead of the original point-and-shoot style the game was designed as, the Typing of the Dead Overkill plays like an M-rated typing tutor, prompting the player to enter words and phrases before the zombies reach them and pull out their intestines like cherry Twizzlers. Does this concept sound odd to you? Shouldn't. This isn't nearly the first time Sega has done this. The original Typing of the Dead was released in 1999 in Japanese arcades, but would later see releases in 2000 and 2001 on Sega Dreamcast in both Japan and the US. The game was simply The House of the Dead 2, with the controls changed so players had to type in words and phrases to kill zombies before being horribly mutilated and killed. There were other modifications too, such as the characters' guns being replaced by keyboards and Dreamcast backpacks, and various Easter eggs. Still, the dialogue and story were pretty much the same between both versions, spare some alternate endings. Aside from that, there were actually even more games in this particular spin-off series. The House of the Dead 3 was reworked Mario Teach's typing style into the Typing of the Dead 2 for Japanese arcades in 2007. That one never saw an American release. Similarly, there existed another zombie-laden, gore-infested educational tutor on the Nintendo DS, English of the Dead. A 2008 title, this utilized the DS microphone to have players say words and phrases before they are eviscerated by the undead. That also was never released outside of Japan. Don't know why. I know plenty of people who can't speak English to save their life. Anyway, that brings us to Sega's latest eduploitation game, The Typing of the Dead Overkill. The entirety of the game is split up into chapters, 9 in all. Each provides a cutscene masquerading as a trailer for a horror movie. Overall, the effect is entertaining, though the clips can run pretty long at times. Fortunately, they are skippable. The game itself is completely on rails, like most every House of the Dead game before it. This should come as no surprise, and it means there will be no worry about navigation. Which is sort of a double-edged sword, if I'm to be honest. Yes, you can concentrate on typing, but there's only one way to go and only 9 levels. Branching paths would have made replays a lot more interesting. Of course, it would have also made this review a hell of a lot harder to get done on time. Nevertheless, you have 3 difficulty modes to choose from: Bitch, Agent, and Motherfucker. This mainly affects the complexity of the words and phrases you encounter throughout the game, I think. And the lowest difficulty setting isn't really that simple, and the highest isn't ridiculously complex, and, well, if I'm to be honest, the game isn't that hard to begin with. Whereas in the first Typing of the Dead, there were very few hits you could take before you fell, and bonuses were few and far between, this game gives you a comparatively massive life meter, and med packs are strewn around everywhere, giving a quick and easy 3 hit point recovery. So it's nearly impossible to die, not that it matters much if you do. In the event of a complete heart failure, 100% blood loss, brain death, and/or decapitation, a small amount of your score will be deducted, and then it's back to the fray exactly where you left off, with bosses keeping the damage you've already inflicted. So if you're into difficult games, this doesn't really do the job. Or does it? Only unlocked after beating all the levels, you can combine any typing difficulty with hardcore mode. This changes the difficulty drastically, as now you actually have to type in every space and punctuation, when in normal mode you only have to type the letters to win. Also, if you miss a letter, it resets the word and restarts your combo meter. In normal, you can miss a few times before losing the combo, and the word never resets. Oh yeah, the combo meter. I guess I should mention that, shouldn't I? Displayed as a classic 6-shooter from the House of the Dead games of old, every kill you get without being hit or otherwise messing up your combo adds bullets to the chambers. Fill them up and you increase your combo bonus up to a maximum of plus 1,000 points per kill upon achieving Gorgasm. Obviously, you want to achieve Gorgasm. Yeah, maybe it's not so obvious when you put it that way. But anyway, having a very large bonus per kill can really rank up your score. Fortunately, as a high score is the only incentive to replay outside of sheer enjoyment at destroying the undead with mad keyboard skills, there are online leaderboards that are easy enough to access and check your position amongst other players, taking specific difficulty settings into account. I wouldn't mind if it had been a little more overt and shown you some of the information without having to go all the way into the leaderboard screen, but still, it's a nice thing to have. Other ways to improve your score are pickups throughout the level, easily acquired with the tab key. A little too easily. There's no penalty for smacking it when there's nothing on the screen, so smack away. A lot of these items unlock extras if you haven't collected them before, but give points every playthrough. The last pickup of note is the slow-mo power-up. It's incredibly helpful when facing a horde of enemies in higher levels, having those few extra seconds to type in whatever the hell they want you to say. However, its placement can be odd sometimes, which may lead you to grabbing it when there are very few enemies, so all it does for you is warp the dialogue. The House of the Dead Overkill also had other pickups, cash as well as grenades, capable of destroying tons of enemies if used at the right time. Neither of those made it over into this game, although there are still plenty of F-bombs.
Motherfucker, fucking motherfucking, motherfucking fuck, fucking motherfucker, fuck, motherfucker, motherfucking fuck, fucking motherfucking fucking fuck. You ever thought of therapy? What the fuck for?
Graphics-wise, this is pretty underwhelming. Obviously, a 2-year-old port from the PS3 of a 2-year-old port from the Nintendo Wii is likely not going to have the most gorgeous visuals, but what's really disappointing are the graphics options, or lack thereof. You can't turn the film grain off, and the resolutions are so limited you actually aren't even allowed to play it as low as the Wii output was. I know that's a strange complaint, but the game was supposedly designed for that resolution, and it's not even selectable. So it's motion blur and heavy film grain for the entire experience. Don't like that? Well, let's hope some Good Samaritan mods it to have options for no film grain, improved textures, and 4K resolution. Ah, the benefits of PC gaming. Wait, is this game popular enough to expect mods? Well, I'm sure someone out there will make a topless candy mod. Which wouldn't be too out of place in this setting, as while all House of the Dead games have heavy horror elements, Overkill went over the top with a grindhouse film style, hence the film grain, excessive profanity, and gratuitous violence. Only one of which I feel like there should be an option to turn off. But you also have your characters for this affair, Agent G and Isaac Washington. The two of them were enemies for no apparent reason, and now are partners for no apparent reason. No, I'm not making that up. Seriously, that's how the game starts.
What's up, motherfucker?
They met as adversaries.
What the fuck was that for?
A monster made them allies.
Well, there is Papa Caesar, though. He doesn't feel quite villainy. Sure, he's the guy behind the flesh-eating mutant outbreak, but it's hard to dislike him when we never really see him do anything all that bad.
Think of your sister before threatening, Papa Caesar.
See? His glasses teleported right back on his face. Wasn't that bad. The cast is filled out with Varla Guns, a minor character boosted up to playable with the new levels, and Candy Striper, a new character who has no bearing on the events at large, and therefore is completely inconsequential.
My mama always said, if you can't say anything nice, say nothing. So, nothing, you Varla Guns!
In this game, player 1 and 2 each control a different character, as shown by their hand animations. At least, I think that's how it's supposed to work. One major problem with the release as of this review is that cooperative play is completely missing. Not only that, but there is no option to choose which of the two you want to play as. Sure, that would make no difference, but it's a little weird when you watch one character's hands do something, and then that character complain to the other as if they didn't just do it themselves.
Was that absolutely necessary?
Motherfucker didn't have no ticket.
To be fair, that is a bit nitpicky, and they have stated that there will be free DLC in the future to offer multiplayer. Yeah. Free DLC. You know, back in my day, we had a term for free DLC. It's called a patch. Similarly, the game is supposed to be compatible with downloadable dictionaries to add new words and phrases to test your typing skills, except of course, there aren't any. In this sense, the game feels like it's simply unfinished. not to mention the bugs. Very rare, I should point out, but the game has crashed the desktop on me, and I encountered one little issue in the second to last stage with a particular mutant that the game thought was not open enough for me to type at. This issue was unfortunately made much worse because of the design of the game. I can't reload at the last checkpoint because there are no checkpoints. If I let it kill me, I take a hit to my score and continue right there with him still attacking me for infinity. My only choice was to quit the level entirely and restart from the menu. Fortunately, it wasn't too far past the start, but come on, that really should have been addressed before release. Similarly, I find the raid zombies more than a little annoying, partly because they're really fucking hard to hit on motherfucker hardcore difficulty. Yeah, that was a sound effect signifying that I had scored a hit. And that was the game ignoring that and having the asshole bite me anyway. And when you do finally kill them, the game lags on their corpse for a couple seconds. I don't know if it was like that in the original release, but certain things, in my opinion, require an update beyond just showing them in a higher resolution. It's like that in the original version that's included with this game too. Oh, yeah, did I mention the original version is included with this game? Maybe that's not exactly the case, though. On the Nintendo Wii, you use the Wii Remote to aim, and on the PlayStation 3, you use the PlayStation Move for the same purpose. On the PC, neither is really an option. Not that you have many options to begin with. If you don't like the default controls, too bad. Alternate layouts can be another thing you hope somebody mods into this game, but when it comes to shooting the undead, they do give you some options. The game works as a cursor-based shooter, and you can either use your mouse to aim, or unnecessarily handicap yourself with an Xbox 360 controller. I know some people out there prefer controllers even when playing FPS games on the PC, but this game does not work very well with it. In Borderlands, your crosshair slows when you go over an enemy, making it easier to stop on target and shoot them. Call of Duty just magnetizes your gun when you aim down the sights, but in this, there is no aim assistance whatsoever with the analog sticks, leaving your cursor to fling all around the screen unrestrained. On top of that, you aim with the left stick, and the right stick does nothing. Don't like that? Hope for a mod. In any case, the game in question is near the exact same, spare the use of a gun instead of a keyboard. In between levels, you can spend money earned based on your performance on new guns and upgrades. Each gun has a distinct feel, but the prices tend to encourage lopsided progression. Let's see, do I use 4,000 to upgrade my pistol to be slightly useful, or spend 5,000 on a friggin' assault rifle and never touch the pistol again? Again, the game is relatively easy, as dying only reduces your score. Up until you beat it at least, and unlock a heightened difficulty level with stronger zombies, and limited continues. I'm glad there are some legitimately hard modes for both games, but you have to have already beaten it to access those, which means if you're in for a challenge from the start, you're either bored on the first playthrough due to its ease, or bored on the second because it's the same path and dialogue every time. Fortunately, there are other bonuses, such as the Director's Cut in the House of the Dead, strangely absent in Typing of the Dead, and a collection of 3 minigames for both. These are minor distractions. Victim support tasks you with clearing zombies to save civilians wearing your color. It's a nice idea for a 2-player score challenge, but as that's not an option, it's severely lacking. Staying Alive is a wave-based survival minigame that works pretty well for excitement. The fact that there is a very strict time limit on top of the survival aspect does mean that as long as this is a one-player experience, I don't think I'll make it past Wave 10. Money Shot is the last one, and it's a simple shooting range. With a mouse or controller, it's not nearly as entertaining as it would be with a Wii Remote or PlayStation Move controller. On the keyboard, it's pathetically easy. Hell, I can even shoot targets after they fall out of sight. It also helps that you never have to reload with the keyboard. With the shooting minigames, the reloads stop you dead in your tracks, but unlike the rest of the game, you can't even choose which weapon you want to use. You're stuck with that pistol that you left in the locker 3 weeks ago and forgot about. All in all, the game is short and flawed and highly repetitive, but you know what? It's fun. And isn't that what's supposed to matter in the end? The game isn't exactly asking a lot out of your pocketbook for the ride either. It's available on Steam for $20. If you're the kind of person who loves cheesy horror and action with silly moments and has a thing for typing tutors, this may very well be worth the price of admission to you. If not, well, this is a Steam game by Sega. It's going to pop up on sale eventually for $10 or $5 or hell, maybe less. At that price, definitely pick this one up unless you simply have an aversion to gory, ultraviolent video games. In which case, I must ask, what in the hell are you doing watching this video? And that's it! What? Story? Who gives a shit? Fine, you want me to do my usual review style, going over all of the cutscenes and spoiling all the plot points? Okay, but only because I can't stand my videos being less than 20 minutes. The game begins with the fight between Agent G and Detective Washington, voiced by Will Sierra and Anthony Arroyo, respectively. This gives us our basic character introductions.
You ever gonna tell anyone what that fucking G stands for?
No.
Okay, I'll bite. In the main House of the Dead series, there is a prominent agent in the AMS named G, and in those games, nobody ever questions it. In any case, they join forces to take down Papa Caesar, the one who has unleashed the zombies onto the world.
Shit! I fucking hate these zombies!
Mutants, how many times do I have to tell you not to use the Z word?
Okay, how many people got to this point in the video and thought for a second not to call them zombies? After fighting their way to the basement, we meet Papa Caesar, voiced by Armand St-Just, who is having a chat with his assistant Jasper, played by Microsoft Sam.
You've gone too far, Papa Caesar.
I always love how the brilliant assistant always waits until after half the country has turned into mindless monsters before becoming all high on morals. It turns out he was helping Caesar to protect his sister from, something. Not quite elaborated on. But he injects himself with the mutagen to finish Caesar off once and for all. Unfortunately for a genius, he has terrible short-term memory, attacking player 1 instead and letting Caesar get away. Of course, you have to understand, there's logical, reasonable things that people might actually do, and then there's the need for a boss fight. Upon killing him, they quickly get on his sister's enemies list, but that's no reason to slow the story down, as it's off to level 2 at the hospital. Wait, scratch that. We've got the extra level, so level 2 is level 3, and the new level 2 is a story about Varla loading up for revenge against Caesar, instead of the men who killed her brother. And the introduction of the new character, Candy, who was Jasper's girlfriend, despite being about as intelligent as a brick, and considerably annoying.
He's fucking dead!
No! No! No!
I might find her role in the story a little more useful if they included two-player mode. Anyway, Varla shoots her way through a strip club and biker bar to fill that plot hole in the original game about where she got the keys to her bike. Yeah. Anyway, back with Caesar at the hospital, and it appears he's setting a trap for his pursuers. Just in case the hundreds of undead doctors and patients don't rip their spleen out as a chew toy first. Obviously, they cut through the morgue and wind up in a boss fight with a girl from the ring. However, that wasn't the trap.
Ciao. Mad motherfucker. Shit! The place is wired to blow!
That's fine, you have unlimited continues. Their car also explodes, but fortunately, Varla rolls up in her motorcycle. And evidently, Candy fell out at some point. Never mind that, she helps the guys that killed her brother, having a friendly conversation on the road to the next level, up until she decides to remember they killed her brother. Then, after they stop to examine a corpse, she leaves their asses behind.
Motherfucker! What does a brother have to do to pacify a bitch?
Yeah, it might not make sense when you put it that way, but never mind, they get to go to a carnival of zombies. They do eventually get another car. Sort of.
You know, Washington, a man driving a car with his own choice of music is one of the finest experiences he can have in an automobile.
You call this an automobile?
And then it's back on the road with... oh, fuck, it's her again.
I just wanted to hear him say, I love you, Candy. One more time.
Let me think. How much bearing on the overall plot will this mission have? None? Is it none? It's none, isn't it? Well, despite them knowing Caesar is heading for the train station, they find his car outside a slaughterhouse, so naturally that's where our level takes place. It ends up looking like an alien hive for some reason, but then right back to slaughterhouse for the boss fight. After the Mick Executioner is defeated, something tragic happens.
Candy!
Nothing, nothing, nothing!
Oh, fuck!
Good mother, nothing hurts!
It's sad, but she had to die. I mean, they can't just have her disappear at random. Wait. Anyway, onto the train level, where everyone gathers to take Caesar down and only have to decide which one gets to shoot him. Still a few levels to go. How's he gonna get out of that?
Enough with the pissing competition! We're gonna take down the...
Seeing that, I'm surprised she was promoted to playable character. G and Washington board, leaving Varla behind, and after fighting their way through, the whole fucking thing derails, leading to an odd situation where after Varla comes and wakes the guys up, Caesar somehow sneaks up on her and easily forces her to ride them to the prison. Thus the two men must follow. Eventually. First they've got this swamp to take out. Hey, you just can't let a good horror movie setting go to waste. So, second to last stage, and who is this?
I need to piss. My dick's on fire. I've been on the road for at least 3/4 of an hour with a bladder full of steaming hot piss, slashing left and right.
Next to the end of the game, suddenly appearing ridiculously creepy man, prison warden, claims to know nothing about the mutants. Don't tell me that he's the mastermind behind everything. Fighting their way through the prison, which is, surprise surprise, full of mutants, it's revealed that Warden Clement is the real mastermind.
That's right. I'm behind the whole thing. Me.
Plot twists like this don't work when the character simply didn't exist for 90% of the game. So he kills Papa Caesar, makes out with his mother, and kidnaps Varla. Another boss fight ensues, and then it's down the elevator to the hidden bunker where the mutagen originated.
So how are we gonna do this?
I figured we'd kill every motherfucker who stands in our way. For a change.
I like it. Reminds me of being a kid at Chuck E. Cheese. After mowing down another magical horde of zombies, which is the only thing really of note as strangely an underground top-secret research bunker isn't the most interesting of locations. They find Varla. However, she's acting more than a bit off.
Clement! Did I call for you? Go to your room.
So Varla was upgraded from side character to playable character, and then downgraded to a plot device and now a fleshy wardrobe. If that's not obvious enough, the fact that Clement never bothered sealing her skull back up after the brain swap removes all doubt. They can't do anything as Granny Varla has superpowers for some reason, but begins to react very badly to the mutagen, giving the guys a chance to shoot her down. This doesn't work out quite as well as expected, however. Okay?
How we survived that, I don't know.
Hey, if we hadn't found these miniguns just lying around, we'd be fucking dead for sure.
Oh, alright. Now, at first I was going to complain about another unexplained plot point, but miniguns solve every problem. This obviously sets up the boss fight against Mutant Mommy Varla Beast Thing, and changes the rules a bit on how you do the battle. Instead of typing just what they tell you, you type things about what they tell you. At least in theory. If you try typing relevant words or phrases, you might get a little bonus damage here or there, but the boss is ridiculously difficult this way. If you ignore the instructions and just mash the keyboard like an angry German kid, you'll do more than enough damage to take her out ridiculously fast, making the final boss the easiest fight in the whole game. By far. That taken care of, Clement seeks to atone for his crimes by returning to the womb. I knew this game was weird, but the fuck did I just watch? Never mind that. A happy ending. G gets Isaac to admit they're friends, they escape by helicopter and blow the place, and Washington critiques the game's rather skewed projection of women.
Not to mention, the strongest female role model in this whole affair ain't much more than a gherkin in a pickle jar.
It's like they knew Anita Sarkeesian was watching, and knew that she would completely fail to research that the game was actually a parody of Grindhouse Cinema. Anyway, that was the Typing of the Dead Overkill, and it's not just good, it's fucking delicious. The storyline is a bit all over the place, but that's to be expected for a horror-themed video game that pieces each of its levels in different traditional horror movie backdrops. For that purpose, it does its job adequately well, with a couple problems that, while damning for a movie to try, are only minor nitpicks for a video game. First and foremost, it's the fact that Clement is a mastermind behind everything, yet doesn't appear until level 8 of 9. Second, the additional levels for the extended edition are nice, but while they could have eased the Caesar to Clement switch, they didn't. Instead, expanding mundane lines into quasi-important plot points like Papa Caesar ordering Chinese food with Jasper. Candy works as a ditzy character, but it's obvious she's only there to fill in a slot for player 2, as she adds nothing of importance to the story. Overall, if the House of the Dead Overkill were a movie, it'd be a deeply flawed gore fest with plot holes everywhere, but still better than the actual House of the Dead movie. And the gameplay is solid enough that it will keep fans entertained, coming in at 3 Gorgasms out of 5. Yeah, 3. Not fantastic, but not bad. I know it sounds a little weird on a video game review, but I don't have that 10-point system where a 3 translates to a 12.408 or some shit. Thank you all for watching. I've been Shado, and remember, if you find yourself surrounded by zombies clawing at your face and ripping at your flesh, shoot a medpack.
They tried to tell me this love wasn't right. They'll never see how this love came to be tonight. And when I hold you arms, there's nobody who knows me like you. You're beautiful in my...
Just play your fucking music,